Welcome, everyone. Well, it is you know who, David Morgan of themorganreport.com, and we have gone down the rabbit hole. I think we burrowed left and right a couple of times. I got some information from a gentleman named Credence that had a very interesting email to me about a lot of ideas. I'm not going to say facts about Bitcoin, but I can't prove a lot of them one way or the other. So after talking to Credence, he basically said that he was taking this information from Boyd Anderson. Boyd Anderson was a hockey star from Canada, and he had a lot of information, and it was about an hour-long video, and it just went a lot of different directions. Wasn't the most linear thinking, but it couldn't be because there were so many tangents that one thing led to another, kind of like the Graph Commons, like John and I did earlier on. I mean, you put up Jeffrey Epstein, and you find all these tangents going all kinds of directions with all kinds of people. So I'm not in any way trying to disparage what Boyd Anderson said. I'm just trying to explain that the complexity of it was, for me, a little bit difficult to follow. So having said all of that, we're kind of back to basics. John Perez. John, welcome back, and tell me, you have a title for this one, and I want to hear your title for your latest information on the crypto conspiracy.
Well, we're taking a shift here. We're going from crypto conspiracy. Well, we already went through crypto conspiracy turning into fact. Now we're going to the crypto apocalypse.
Let me get that right now. John, one thing I love about you is you don't hold back. You don't pull your punches. All right, so we've got the crypto apocalypse. Okay, let's go from there. Tell me more.
Well, today's the date is January 22nd. I was going to pull a chart up. RT Times listed Bitcoin as being down 50% today on January 22nd, 2022. And looking back at the charts, if someone wants to go back and look at our original conspiracy, I believe it's in October, first or second week of October, run a chart from our first Bitcoin conspiracy video to January 22nd. And it's approximately 50% losses there. So I think the crypto conspiracy has been read and watched by quite a few people and some really significant people. And all the way to the point where I have a feeling that after video 6, I noticed that Michael Saylor put out a video saying that everyone should sell their gold and put it all in Bitcoin, after saying mortgage your house and put it all in Bitcoin. So here we are, January 22nd, and the world is ending. And now what do we say? I mean, this week, what a crazy week. The SEC is investigating Microstrategy. And well, on January 4th, on my Telegram, if you're on Telegram, then you saw it. And I'm not sure if I put it on any of the crypto conspiracies. I haven't been on since, but on January 4th, on my Telegram, I telegrammed a message out there that January 4th, that at $30,000 Bitcoin, we're going to see a margin call for MicroStrategy. And I'm going to hold to that. And I'm going to say Bitcoin is going to $4,200. And so 4,200, it will print 4200. No one else will tell you that. 4200. So
that's right. No one else will tell us that. Let me pause you there. I don't want you to get too far ahead of me. So you put out on your Telegram channel that MicroStrategies might or could get a margin call at 30,000 Bitcoin, and your ultimate target, which I've seen your Telegram channel. So much on there I can't keep up with it. I got other things to do, but. And I know you've called it 4,200. So is that 30,000 from you, or is that something you read somewhere?
That's from I believe the average cost for MicroStrategy. This came with, it had to do with the average cost that MicroStrategy was in on. The last I had confirmed, it was just under $30,000. But this was before the SEC investigation, and the SEC stopped them from moving forward on their loan program, loaning out their Bitcoin. So that came out yesterday, 10 minutes after the stock market closed. It came out at 1:10 p.m. Pacific time, I believe 3:10 Eastern time yesterday, that MicroStrategy was under investigation. And
what?
I should say, yeah.
What?
Oh, you didn't
So
see that?
after the stock market closed, the SEC issued shortly thereafter, 10 minutes, that Microstrategy is under investigation. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, let me get the exact
Man.
press release here because I believe I got it off of Coin Market Cap. I believe it was Coin Market Cap. I did a show on this last night, and I thought, where is the news? Here we go. Uh, I got MicroStrategy, and I looked, and the first thing I always do is look at, what it was already a crazy day because we had such a crazy week for silver. And I've been telling all my clients when Bitcoin dies, silver flies. Well, of course, silver's flying right now, as we all can see. And everyone was printing Bitcoin dies, silver flies. And there it is right here. Uh, This is Bloomberg. This is not the conspiracy channel here. It's Bloomberg. Oh, good old Bloomberg. This came out January 21st. Here we go. Here we go. Bloomberg, MicroStrategy plummets as SEC rejects its Bitcoin accounting. Wow, look at that. Now just think if he had just had thousand ounce bars stacked up in the corner on a pallet. They couldn't reject that kind of accounting here. Or gold, tier one asset, Well, he's got problems here at 3:03 Pacific Standard Time. I got it at 1:10 Pacific Time from another printout. So here the market closes, and all of a sudden, MicroStrategy plummets as SEC rejects its Bitcoin accounting. Now, this is big. I mean, what's your thought on this here, David? I mean, I'm not sure if I told this to you. I was so busy yesterday with the news. We were watching silver. Everyone was dancing around. Their stocks were up. Their mining stocks were up. And then this came out, and this was like, first thing I thought was my margin call for MicroStrategy January 4th is going to come true. It's going to come true.
Wow.
So this is big stuff here.
I'm so glad that you pushed me slightly to do something on a Saturday, which I don't mind doing if it's worthy. This is more than worthy. And John, just to back up a bit, kind of off topic, but I want to throw it out there. January 21st, 1980, yesterday, was the all-time high in gold in real terms. Oh. 850 spot, 875 the near month. And I don't know how many years that is. I should be able to try to subtract 22 and 80, but that's been a lot of years where we had the all-time high in real dollars, not in nominal dollars. Of course, the new all-time high was a few years back, and it was almost 2,000. But that's a nominal number. On an inflation-adjusted basis, that almost 2,000 is not actually worth as much as 850 was way back in 1980. John, let me turn it back to you. And let's just use a little imagination, if you don't mind. So with this fact that we talked about in our conspiracy channel, printed by Bloomberg, what do you think's going on at the board of directors table on MicroStrategies right now?
Wow. I'm sure hopefully they're, having some good wine tasting events right now. I didn't comment on this. Bitcoin is down 50% since its high. But a reminder to everyone out there, for all you hodlers, silver is outperforming all crypto in 2022. Silver is outperforming all crypto in 2022. Maybe there's a few pump and dump shit coins out there that are doing something, but for the most part, when it comes to Bitcoin, silver and gold are in the lead, and it's going to stay that way. And if you recall, David, remember you asked me my outlook on silver in the first quarter? I said we'd go to $26.50, $30, and it would be 30, then 33 blue skies. But what would be the kicker? We're going to be thanking Vladimir Putin and what happens in Ukraine when Russia takes back Ukraine and NATO collapses in this first quarter. And this is going to put so much upward pressure on gold and silver that it's going to break the COMEX, and it's going to destroy whatever shorts are left out there. I'm not even going to give them the name of what's out there because they're playing paper games out there, but they're not going to be able to stop what is coming here. Silver is now at the unstoppable first stage launch off the launch pad here. And they'll pull out a few tricks out of the book, no doubt. But the thing I missed out on Bitcoin coming down 50% from its highs is the fact that yesterday, not only silver stayed still, we had a great 30 days in silver. Silver's rocking, 30-day chart. It's doing perfect here. But what I didn't say is that Microstrategy shares dropped 17% Friday afternoon after the SEC reportedly rejected the company's Bitcoin accounting strategy. Now, this is important here because if you stop and think about it, this is the first time we're watching an equity that's listed, Microstrategy, which is an equity listed, that is running off the price of, I'm not going to call it a commodity or a currency. I'm not going to call it anything, but just, Epstein coin. And Epstein coin, the price of Epstein coin is now affecting an equity. We've never seen this before. This is very similar to the model of gold and silver. We see spot moves up 3, 4, 5, 10% in silver. We're going to get a big pump in the silver stocks, which is beautiful and which is what we're getting already. I'm seeing it already. And the volumes are up, everything coming into the junior miners, the exploration miners. But MicroStrategy was down 17% on Friday, and gold is moving really well. And I thought, wow, I was just thinking about it. I think it was December 6th. Michael Saylor said, sell all your gold and put it all in Bitcoin, and my call was different from his call. My call was margin call at MicroStrategy on January 4th here. And I believe I am going to be right on this one here. So yeah, I think they're in big trouble here. MicroStrategy shares are down 24.7% for the week.
Whoa.
Led by the guy who said, sell your goals for Bitcoin, mortgage your house for Bitcoin. And here it is. Who's winning? The Silver Patriots are winning.
Okay. John, you said something a minute ago about Putin and Ukraine and taking it back. And I'm not going to even comment other than, I follow geopolitics pretty clear, and I will not rule that out. So I want to actually move on from there because what you said after that was of more interest to me. You said that the COMEX would fail, I think, because of that event. And if that's what you said, clarify it and tell me how that would take down the COMEX or what your thinking is.
Yeah, I have another conspiracy. We'll just call this a conspiracy too. It'll come true. Yeah, what we have here is a perfect silver and gold storm, a storm we've never seen before. Everybody knows inflation's going crazy. Everybody knows that Powell is printing dollars nonstop. Everybody knows that Tether's printing to uphold and save the Bitcoin price. Everybody knows gold and silver is the place to be. It's the lifeboat of lifeboats. We all know the dollar dilution is going down, but at the same time, countries worldwide, not all countries are dumping the dollars. Although Russia has dumped a ton, and they've moved their gold reserves to 25% of their reserves. And believe it or not, Kazakhstan has even more gold. And that's why the Kazakhstan issue was a really big issue. They're in a good place. The Illuminati architecture capital of the world, Kazakhstan, which is another story. Well, what we have going here, the pressure on the COMEX is on. We all know about the 800 million ounce short position that, some people say this. It's out there. This is, Bear Stearns silver 2.0. Now, now we got the same bomb. Now it's in B of A. Is it B of A going to roll over and get sucked up by JP Morgan again as a repeat of Bear Stearns? That's a likely scenario. Is this executive order 13818 going to be applied, and will all the silver be seized from JP Morgan and put into the U.S. Treasury for a future project, which I'll talk about in another video? Before that happens, with all the different elements that are coming together in the silver storm, with printing, dilution, pressure, everyone knows we got to run to somewhere. My Telegram has just absolutely gone insane. I've watched your Twitter has gone up. The number of viewers on your YouTube account, everyone is reading this, watching this crypto conspiracy. And I've lost count of how many tens of millions of dollars that have been sold in Bitcoin, and I'm getting the emails. I'm getting this sell, I sold. And what are they? They're all buying silver. and they're on the silver show, and they're buying silver, they're buying mining stocks, they're putting together strategies, they're taking cash home. Well, now that this is happening, I can see it. It's coming from, it's worldwide too. I've got probably 26 countries watching my show pretty much every day. Well, with all the different factors in place that make for a perfect storm for silver, the COMEX is now under pressure. It's being drained. It's being drained. Even, you can wait for the reports if you believe them. If you believe them, you can rate for how they price silver. You can listen to Jeffrey Christian if you want, if you believe them. I don't believe any of them. Silver is going to go to the upside here, just as I said in my other prediction that we'd see 26.50, 30.33, and then we're going to have significant events in the first quarter that has to do with Ukraine and Russia taking back control of Ukraine. We could see George Soros arrested by Vladimir Putin coming into Ukraine. We could see nuclear weapons. I believe they're already in Kaliningrad. They're already in Belarus. They're already on the border there with Ukraine. Vladimir Putin is going to end up changing and collapsing NATO. And when that happens, we've already got all the domestic and global pressure to the upside of silver. We are going to see a geopolitical, geostrategic events unfold here we have never seen before, most likely go into a DEFCON threat level change. And that upside pressure is going to push silver and gold so far forward, blow right through 30 and 33, that we're going to most likely see the COMEX in this short position roll over and be destroyed. Now, who's going to be responsible for that? I'm going to say this right now. It will most likely be Vladimir Putin's actions are most likely going to be a silver investors and gold investors' best friend in February. Around when? February 4th. Remember that day. It's going to be probably an interesting Valentine's Day for silver investors, but this is going to underpin my predictions I made about silver in the first quarter going 26.50, 30, 33, and then geopolitical events pushing silver higher and blowing up the COMEX and the silver shorts out there. And then everyone is just going to be blown away by this black swan event that I just described that nobody else is talking about. And I just gave it to you in detail. And I believe that's how it's going to roll out. And there's more to that. Vladimir Putin, I won't go into details on this. He has scores to settle. There are scores that are going to be settled. And they're going to be settled in ways that we've never seen before. And it's happening already. It's already happening. It's already on the move. And you'll never hear this on the news. You'll never hear any analyst say this. No one can predict this as accurate as I am. I can, and I will, and I have, and it's going to happen. So that's my take on that. And when the COMEX breaks and everything else, we may see a spot price on the wall and say, John, well, silver's doing this. And my response is always going to be, go down and buy a physical coin of silver from your local coin shop. But John, silver says, $28, $30. Go buy a coin. You'll be lucky to get it for $35, $37. We're going to see $5, $7, $10, $15, $12, and $20 premiums on coins sometime this year, possibly in the first half, maybe in the first quarter. But when we head into the end of this first quarter, especially May, the word is, from what I'm seeing here, we got a lot coming here, and we're going to see most likely nuclear weapons, or the threat or the talk of nuclear weapons on Cuba, and possibly land-based bombers in Venezuela, Tupolev Tu-160, submarines, Gulf of Mexico, and all these things here are going to put upward pressure on the banks and the banking system in the United States. Well, the banking system's talking about removing Russia from the SWIFT system. Well, how do you retaliate to something like that if you're Russia? Well, you're going to put NATO weapons and U.S. troops and British troops and Canadian troops on our border in Ukraine. Well, we're just going to put nuclear weapons in your backyard. We're going to put them in Cuba. We're going to put them in Venezuela, their air base. And then, of course, they're not going to talk about submarines. We'll never hear about that. So these are all going to be factors, I believe, that are already unfolding right now. Right now, I've been talking about this every single day on my Telegram channel here, but it's definitely unfolding and it's moving fast. And but there's a lot of disinfo going out there. So it's a fluid motion. So we're dealing with the fog of war and battle. But it looks to me that Putin is going to be the boss of Eastern Europe again, and we're going to see countries in NATO did not agree. They're going to start breaking up here and disagreeing with how they don't want to go to war with Russia because they need the natural gas. Russia has all the resources. They have the crude oil. They have the natural gas. They have the gold. They have the big guns. And NATO, what you have is a bunch of militaries that are been sucking off the U.S. teat, and now it's falling apart because Trump pulled the cash out from NATO. And now reality is going to hit that the people in Eastern Europe are looking at their leaders saying, wow, our leaders are force vaccinating us, forcing our business, closing our businesses down, forcing us to wear masks, and now they want us to go to war with Russia. That just doesn't sound like a good idea, because the last time we looked at what happened that time, it didn't work out that well for Napoleon, and it didn't work out that well for Hitler. Maybe we should rethink our participation in NATO, especially Poland, front line.
That's it. I'm going to go ahead and pause you there, John. I think we've covered enough. I just want to add a couple things and we'll hand it back to you. One, and I don't like saying it, but it's a fact, and I've said it before, is silver is a metal of war. No one, and I don't know of anyone other than someone on the inside, ever gets to see what the demand is for silver on the military side. And let me tell you, it's not a pitiful amount. It's probably fairly substantive. It's because most of the mil-spec batteries use silver. There's a lot in weapons, torpedoes, missiles, that kind of thing. Silver, silver, silver. So that's point number one. Point number two, and more important, is Russia and the way they view the white metals. They are very hard on platinum, palladium, and believe it or not, silver. I've got some, I'll call it inside information from what I consider to be a trusted source. And, you know, I see these pictures very often about the vaults, these big vaults, and the Queen of England is walking down an aisle, and they got all these gold bars lined up on the left and the right of her down this big causeway kind of thing inside the vault. Well, Russia has that with silver. And I would speculate here that the reason is, just like the U.S. used to hold silver before they started the Silver Liberty program, commonly known as the Silver Eagle program in 1986, was it was held as a strategic metal. Well, it is a strategic metal, and Russia knows that. And so they've got their, what I'll call wealth metal, gold, as you said. They've got better cover ratio than any other nation on the planet. And they also have a strategic metal that's vital for many, many things, including military operations. So if I can just leave it there and just give it back to you, if you just want to give me a brief summary, because we got more to do. And thank you again. I think it's good to come back to you, but I don't mind vectoring off and listening to other people, because I think it's good to get a broad view.
Yeah.
You're not the only one that has approached me after you started, and we had, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 in the bank. I started getting approached by others that say, "You're right, I love it. You're the only one talking about this. No one else is talking about the other side of the coin. Where have you guys been?" You know. So
well, I tell you,
John, I'll calm down. What's your final words on this video? And of course, we'll keep going as long as we need to.
Well, I got something from Credence, that video I watched with Credence, and he said something that just boom, lit my world up. I put a video up on the rods of God and the explosions there in Tonga, the quote unquote detonation, according to the New Zealand Pacific commander. He's called it a detonation. Anyhow, he talked about the rods of God and certain billionaires that were trying to control Bitcoin and U.S. policy and politics, and from New Zealand, from underground bunkers in New Zealand. And I typed in underground bunkers, New Zealand, and lo and behold, my goodness, it was like the who's who of Silicon Valley. And of course, I typed in a map of undersea cables there, and I thought, wow. Anyhow, I did a show on that. But Credence came up with something interesting. And he said that he talked about billionaires running operations in New Zealand that would affect U.S. voting and internet. And I thought, and I looked, I said, that was really interesting. And then lo and behold, 2 days later, kaboom, Tonga blows up. And then what comes out the next day? Undersea cables cut. I pulled up a map, and those undersea cables went from where? From Hawaii and the United States straight to New Zealand, and they got whacked. That's another story I won't talk about now, but I want to say this before we cut off because this literally came up here as we are speaking. And this, I'm going to say it on the show now. I need to say this now. I can record this. January 22nd, 2:24 p.m. Saturday. And I said this just a minute ago. I'll timestamp this here. Russia's ambassador to Caracas, Venezuela, says that Venezuela is ready to offer military help to Moscow if relations with the United States exacerbates. You notice that he didn't say relations with Ukraine. He said the relations with the United States exacerbate. I'll interpret that right now. I will tell you exactly what's going to happen. We are going to see Tu-160 Tupolevs landing in Venezuela, and they're going to be carrying Zircon hypersonic nuclear capable missiles. Capable. I didn't say nuclear armed, but capable. You can take the rest from there. And then we're going to see, most likely, I won't be surprised if we see one or two Russian missile ships, because their ships are different from Americans. They like to carry lots of missiles on the top there. They're most likely to be carrying nuclear capable hypersonic cruise missiles also there in Cuba. We're going to see Cuba Missile Crisis 2.0, and silver and gold are going to just blow up. There you have it. Take that one to the bank.